Okay, today we're going to do a activity on spreadsheets that's going to be in a couple of parts, and this video is for the iPad, so if you're not on the iPad to do this task, please go and look at the other information. So on the iPad you will have a spreadsheet attached under the attachments. You might have to swipe up from the bottom to get it on your iPad. I'm showing you as a teacher, so I get a slightly different view, but there will be a spreadsheet attached called Hogwarts House, and it will probably have your name on it. So find that at the bottom of 2.1. Now it's going to open up something like this. And you will have on the first page a sort of personality quiz. Okay, and that's what we're going to fill in first. So you will see there's some questions down the left hand side in the blue boxes, and then on the right hand side you'll see that there's this 1 to 8 down the side, and you'll see that I filled in a C as an example in the first one, but you can just tap there and tap again to clear it. So you're going to look at the questions and then you're going to decide what your answer is. So for instance, question 1, what kind of person are you? There are 4 different possible answers. Pick the one that is most like you. It doesn't have to be exact. We're doing this just for fun, really. So are you intellectual head always in your books? If so, put an A in this cell. If it's B, if it's C, if it's D. So I'm going to put C because, hey, I'm the teacher. So generally I'm a leader and people do listen to me, supposedly. And you see, as I put C in there, it's changed the number at the bottom to 4. So if I do number 2, which one are you in a horror movie? Well, let's have a look. Possibly the logical one. C again for me. I don't know. You have a think. So here I'm going to put the letter in again, and you see my score has changed at the bottom. What you need to do is to fill out all the questions as quick as you can, so you get a score at the bottom. Okay, so once you've got your score and you've shared it with the rest of the class, so we've got some data or shared it with me, it's time to do the main part of the classwork. So if you're still on this sheet, you can tap the tick on the top left-hand corner to get out of that, and then you're going to tap on sheet 1 at the bottom, sort of on the left-hand side there, to get into this tab. So now we begin the proper classwork. We are going to rename the tab at the bottom to houses. So where it says sheet 1 at the bottom, we're going to tap that down arrow and we're going to do rename, and we're going to call sheet 1 houses. That is step 2 in our instructions. Okay, and in step 3 we're going to change the colour of the house names, and we're going to use the A button to do this. So if I tap on Slytherin, which of course you know is Slytherin, but we have silly names for them, we're going to make this one green. Now we're going to use the A button maybe in the toolbar right up here to change the colour to a nice green. If you tap on green, you can pick a different type of green if you want, rather than that bright green. Or if you prefer, you can use the paint bucket and make the backgrounds green. That's absolutely fine. Robin Toes is going to be blue because obviously it's Ravenclaw secretly. Huff and Puff is obviously Hufflepuff, so it'll be a yellowy kind of colour, but you may want to choose like a slightly darker yellow so you can read it. And Gryffindor is obviously code for Gryffindor, so we're going to go for red. Okay, that's step 3. Step 4, change the house name font to size 14. Change the house name font to bold. So these names, we want to make them all size 14, so we can select them all by tapping on the first one, the Slytherin one, and then dragging down the corner. That's absolutely fine. And we're going to make them all size 14. So we're going to tap up the top right hand corner here underneath the battery percentage on the A, and then we can change the font size here by tapping up until we get to 14. And we can also switch the bold on this thing here on the B. Super. So that's step 4. Step 5, widen the column so all the names can be seen properly. Well, on this occasion, our names can be seen quite well already, so we don't need to widen the column. But if you do need to widen the column for any reason, just tap on the letter for the column, and you will see there's a little circle with 2 arrows in. If you put your finger there, you can make it wider, or you can make it slightly narrower. I'm going to make it slightly narrower, just to demonstrate. Okay. Step 6. highlight cells A3 to B3. So A3 to B3. Here's A3 and here's B3, which is house and number. Make the fonts bold, so we can press the B in the toolbar. Size 14 again, so we need to go up to the A at the top right and then press up arrow on size until we get to 14. And it wants us to center align it as well, so we can just do the center alignment button, which is the stack of lines in the middle, like that. Okay, and it says insert a black border around the table. Now, as we come out, we might see that we need to make our number column a little bit wider, so I'm going to tap on the B and just drag number out a little bit there. Okay, so back to the step. It says step 7, insert a black border around the table. So that means I'm going to tap in A3, I'm going to drag the corner until I'm in B7, and then I'm going to find the borders button in the toolbar, which is above column G on my screen. It looks like a window. We used it in the last session as well. I'm going to tap there, and then I'm going to tap the first option, which looks exactly the same, and that puts a black border around the table. Okay, in step 8, it says in cells B4 to B7, enter the numbers calculated earlier for each Hogwarts house, or make them up if not. Hopefully, I have put together the numbers for you and told you which one to put in based on the results that we got in the class. Normally there's nobody in Slytherin, but so I tell you to put something like 2. And then say there were 5 people in Robin Toes, 8 people in Huff and Puff, and 4 people in Gryffindor. You can put the numbers that you got for your class, or you can make them up. It really doesn't matter, as long as they're different and they're, not massive. Now it says center align the numbers in B4 to B7. So here's cell B4, drag it down to B7. Center align button is above column C, and it's the one in the middle. Then it says step 9, highlight cell A1. Let's find cell A1, it's the one right at the top. Make the title size 18 and bold. So we're going up to our A button at the top right, and we're going to go up until we get to size 18, and we're going to press the bold button. Okay, then it says pick a font style that you like. So we're going to scroll down a little bit to where it says font Arial, and we're going to pick a different font at random. What have we got? Let's go for Holtwood one on my occasion. You can pick whichever one you want. And it says choose a different colour. So we can tap back on the font size, and we can choose text colour, and we can choose a different colour. Let's go for pink, just for random. Okay. Step 10, merge cells A1 to D1. Tip, highlight the cells and find the merge cells button in the toolbar. So here's A1. I'm going to drag the corner across to D1. And I need to find the merge cells toolbar in the toolbar. Now it's really important that this button won't appear or be tappable until you highlight those cells. Okay, so you must highlight the cells first, otherwise it doesn't know what you want to do. So here's the merge cells toolbar button in the toolbar. It's above column F on my screen beside the paint bucket. Boom, right, now it spreads across all 4 of the cells, and we need to do a final thing. We need to center align it again, so tap the center align button. Okay, step 11, insert an appropriate image to the right hand side of the table. So we're going to go up to our plus button on the top right, choose image over cells, and you can either take a photo or you can pick from your photos, and then hopefully you've got a photo that you have. Oh, here's my hat from the other day, and there's my wizard's hat again. You can pick one from the internet or a photograph that you've got on your iPad. It doesn't really matter, just as long as you've shown me that you can insert an image. Okay, step 12. It says in C8, write total number. So let's find cell C8. It's here, just underneath my wizard's hat. So I'm going to just move that a little bit out of the way. C8. And we're going to write the word total number. Words total number, rather. Total number. And then in C9, underneath it, we're going to write average number. AVERAGE, average number. Then under that, we're going to write highest number. And under that, in C11, we're going to write lowest number. And then we're going to make all of those words bold. So, oops, there we go. So I'm going to tap on the first one and just drag down to highlight all of them. And I'm going to press the B in the toolbar to make them bold. Cool. Step 13. We're going to highlight cells B4 to B7. So these are our numbers here, B4 to B7. And we're going to use the sum function at the bottom of the screen to calculate the total number of students in the houses, and that will appear in cell B8 for now. So we're going to tap sum 19 for me. Yours might be a different number, but it will be the sum at the bottom left. Cool. So the number 19 has appeared in cell B8, but we don't actually want it to be in there. So on the iPad, what we have to do, unfortunately, is we have to cut and paste. Now, we need to cut and paste this specific cell and not any other. So here we go. I'm going to cut, and by holding down and pressing and holding to get the menu, and we're going to paste by tapping and tapping again to paste. Cool. So as you can see, it's not just number 19. If you look at the bottom left in the FX toolbar, it says equals sum brackets B4 colon B7, which means add up all of the numbers in cells B4 to B7. Super. Step 14. We are going to do the average. So we're going to do the same process again. We're going to go back to B4. We're going to highlight down to B7. And this time we're going to choose the average, which is the second option at the bottom of our screen, which says AVG. Mine is 4.75. We're going to tap there. And again, it's popped it into B8, but we actually want it over in D9. So what we're going to do is going to tap on the cell to get the menu up, choose cut, come over to the average number in D9, tap in there, tap again and choose paste. And then we've got step 15. We're going to use the max function. So we're going to go back to cell B4. We're going to drag down to B7 to highlight them again. I'm going to choose max from the bottom in the middle of our screen where it says max 8 for me. And once again, we're going to cut. And we're going to paste this time into cell D10 beside highest number. So max picks our highest number out. I know that we can just look at 4 numbers and go, I can pick the highest one. But imagine that you've got 200 numbers to pick from. It's going to be a lot easier to just get the computer to do it rather than looking for it yourself. Okay, and step 15, that's done. So step 16, we're going to use the min function to find the smallest number again. Again, I know you can see, but we're going to use the computer to do it, imagining we have a lot more numbers. So we're going to highlight down B4 to B7 again, and this time we're going to choose min. And then we're going to cut, and we're going to paste into cell D11. Super. Now we're going to use charts and graphs in step 17 to display the number of students in each house. We might be able to select from A3 down to B7 and then press the plus button and choose chart, and that might make a slightly better one because now we've got a title and we've got the labels down the bottom as well. Brilliant. So we'll just tap the tick at the top left to add that in. Oops, it's gone all over our stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it a little bit smaller by dragging the corner. I'm going to just shuffle it underneath all of our data. And then step 18 says use colour, pictures and fonts to make the sheet look great. So at the moment it looks pretty boring, but you can now make it look a little bit more exciting if you have the time to. So that is the main bulk of the classwork before we go on to the extension. Okay, now that we've done the classwork, we're going to do the exceeding extension, which was originally homework. So we're going to tap on Test Your Skills tab at the bottom in the middle to bring up this green sheet. Okay, you can see there are lots of questions here, and you might be thinking, well, I know what 5 plus 3 is. I can just type the word 8 in. I don't want you to do that. What I want you to do is I want you to use formula to do this. So what we're going to do on the iPad is we're going to tap in cell F2, which is the first blue box for the answers. Okay, and I'm going to tap down in the bottom in the left where it says FX to enter text or formula. So we're going to use the buttons underneath to help us. We're going to start with an equals because that's how we always start a formula. And then we're going to tap on the number 5, which is in B2. And then we're going to add, because it says in cell C2 to add. So we're going to press the plus button underneath. And then we're going to tap on D2, where the number is. Okay. And it's now made us a formula that says equals B2 plus D2. We're going to press the tick button on the right hand side of the FX toolbar, and you can see it says correct. I know if you typed 8 in there it would also say correct, but I will mark that wrong in your homework. So it needs to be, or in your extension rather, the actual formula. So if we do question 2, to show you, we need to do subtract this time. So we're going to go back down into the FX toolbar, the functions toolbar, we're going to do equals, we're going to tap on 8, and we're going to do minus this time, the 6. So we've got a formula of equals B4 minus D4, and we're going to tap the tick to do the correct. Now we've got multiply, and then we've also got divide. I'm just going to show you question 4 for the divide because you might not know what the symbol is. So we're going to tap into there, we're going to tap in the formula bar, we're going to do equals, just scroll it up a bit, 14. Now the divide symbol, if we look underneath our FX toolbar and above our keyboard, we've got equals, plus, minus, then we've got forward slash. Now the forward slash is what divide symbol is on the computer. So we need that forward slash, and then we're doing 7. So we've got equals B8 forward slash D8. And if you press the tick, it will tell us it's correct. So I've done 3. You've got 7 more to do with me. So make sure you do all of these as formula all the way down, okay, before you hand in your spreadsheet to show you that you've done the extension. Well done.